sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way you smile just leaves, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still I'll always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still I'll always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away. They can't take that away. No, they can't take that away from me. it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without
One time. Yeah.
Takes my breath away. I can hardly wait to hold you, feel my arms around you. How long I have waited just to love you. Now that I have found you, you've got the look of love and soul. Your face, a look, the time can't erase. Be mine tonight. Let this be just the start of so many nights like this. Let's take a lover's vow and seal it with a kiss.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Fisher. We're pleased to celebrate our graduates from the School of Business and School of Continuing Education at this afternoon's Convocation ceremony. At this time, I acknowledge the talented group of individuals behind me who, under the direction of Raymond Buree, comprise MacEwan University's Big Band. I would like to remind you that the Winspear Center is an acoustically responsive hall, so we ask that if you're carrying any electronic devices, you take a moment to turn them off now for the duration of the ceremony. If you need to step outside the concert hall, the Winspear has monitors in the lobby on which you can watch the ceremony. A professional photographer will be taking photographs of our graduates as they cross the stage and backstage after they have received their parchments. Information on how to obtain photos will be forwarded to graduates at a later date. We have one more musical number, and the ceremony will begin. Thank you.
Shadow boxing in the dark. lovers no more, just friends, but not like before. To think of what we've been and not to kiss again seems like pretending it isn't the ending. Two friends drifting apart, two friends, but one broken heart. We love, we laugh, we cry, and suddenly love died. The story ends, and we're just friends. No more, just friends, but not like before. To think of what we've been and not to kiss again seems like pretending it isn't the ending. Two friends drifting apart, two friends, but one broken heart. We love, we laugh, we cry, and suddenly love died. The story ends, and we're just friends. We're just friends.
Once again, please join me in a round of applause for the MacEwan University Big Bands. Everyone, if you are able, please rise. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the mace bearer for this ceremony. Richard Persheets, Chair of Academic Language Preparation from the School of Continuing Education, is carrying the university's mace, which was donated to the university in 1997 by its namesake, Dr. Grant MacEwan, and became the official mace in 2008. It is especially meaningful to the university as it was hand-carved by Dr. MacEwan. Further information on the mace and other convocation traditions can be found in your convocation program. The faculty procession is led by Kelly Morris, Assistant Professor from the School of Continuing Education. Please remain standing for the academic procession.
Please be seated. Hello, I am delighted to welcome you to this afternoon's convocation ceremony. Today's convocation is indeed a wonderful and celebratory one as we recognize our graduates for their achievements at MacEwan University. Graduates, distinguished guests, members of the stage party, faculty, staff, and all others in attendance, my name is Dr. Annette Trimby, and I'm the President and Vice Chancellor of MacEwan University. I would first like to take time to acknowledge that the land on which we gather in Treaty 6 territory is the traditional gathering place for many Indigenous people. We honor and respect the history, languages, ceremonies, and culture of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples who call this territory home. The First Peoples' connection to the land teaches us about our inherent responsibility to protect and respect Mother Earth. With this acknowledgement, we honor the ancestors and children who have been buried here, missing and murdered Indigenous women and men, and the process of ongoing collective healing for all human beings. We are reminded that we are all treaty people and of the responsibility we have to one another. Today, we recognize and celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Created in 1982, this day is an important day of acknowledgement, solidarity, and celebration. Celebrating education and learning is appropriate on a day that we recognize the history and future of Indigenous peoples across Canada. I am so pleased we are able to incorporate the voices of our Indigenous community and the talent and creativity of Indigenous musicians. I would now like to invite our Indigenous knowledge keeper, Daphne Alexis, to provide us with an Indigenous invocation. Protocol was offered before the ceremony. Daphne.
Ishnish Pinimad, Daphne Alexis McGabe, Wakamne Shidaha Himud. I thank you. My name is Daphne Alexis, and I'm from Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation. And I'm honored to sing a prayer song for you graduates and for everybody that's gathered here to celebrate today. And I will do it the way I was taught, the way I was given. Shneesh.
Thank you, Daphne, for your prayer, for starting us off in a good way this afternoon. Celebration and sharing of Indigenous culture are key to building a strong future for Indigenous people here at MacEwan, in Edmonton, and across the country. I'm grateful now to be able to welcome Latana Wachui Alexis from Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation and Damaris Badger from Kayiwan Cree Nation. Latana and Damaris are fancy dancers and will be joined by the Logan Alexis Singers. The Logan Alexis Singers is a round dance group composed of family members and proteges of the late Logan Alexis, respected elder of the community of the Alexis First Nation. Thank you, Latana, Damaris, and the Logan Alexis Singers. What a wonderful performance. Thank you for celebrating with us today. Please now stand for the singing of our national anthem, led by Miranda Smith.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. I now have the privilege of introducing Dr. Tony Fields, MacEwan's very first Chancellor. We were honored when Dr. Fields took on the role of MacEwan's first Chancellor last spring. Dr. Fields has had a long and distinguished career in medicine as a physician, teacher, researcher, and administrator. Most recently, he was a professor of oncology at the University of Alberta and vice president of cancer care for Alberta Health Services before retiring in 2011. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Fields to officially open Convocation.
Welcome to MacEwan University's Spring 2022 Convocation. I have the honor and pleasure of conferring your academic credentials today. As Chancellor, I declare MacEwan University's Convocation open. At this academic ceremony, we will honor our 2022 graduates by conferring degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and we will recognize the outstanding achievements of the students of MacEwan University. Graduation from a university is one of the substantial passages in life, and it deserves to be showcased and celebrated at a ceremony shared with one's classmates, loved ones, and teachers. The COVID-19 pandemic prevented us from holding in-person spring convocations in 2020 and 2021. It is wonderful to be back to our fulsome tradition in 2022. I extend a warm welcome to all who are here today, also to those who are joining us online. Graduates, today is all about you, and we are honored to be here to celebrate your achievements. During your years at MacEwan, you applied yourselves diligently to your studies. You rose to the challenges inherent in advanced learning, also to the complexities and constraints caused by the pandemic. You gained valuable knowledge, and you learned key skills. You also acquired important attributes such as collegiality, empathy, and curiosity. Your knowledge, skills, and attributes are the tools that will help you succeed in whatever field of study or work you choose, enriching your careers and benefiting the communities you influence. Our world is changing, and the pace of change is increasing. Our experiences of just the past 2 years have underscored this reality. None of us can predict with certainty the challenges and opportunities that we will face in our individual future paths. This uncertainty means that while your post-secondary credential will open doors for you, it is not a cruise control button. Adaptability to change will be a vital asset. I encourage you to embrace the value of lifelong learning that is so critical to meeting challenges and benefiting from opportunities. We believe that your time and your experiences at MacEwan will have helped to prepare you to face the uncertainties of the future and to adapt to them. Indeed, we hope that we have sparked in you the ambition to shape a better future for our world and for our societies, rather than simply cope with what the future throws at you. Thus, be curious about your changing world. Pose questions and seek answers. Engage with and learn from those around you. Recognize and harness the synergistic power of teamwork. As you graduate, you join the growing community of MacEwan alumni. Collectively, you and your fellow alumni demonstrate the many benefits that education at MacEwan contributes to our society across many disciplines and within our public, private, and voluntary sectors. I look forward to conferring your credentials here today, and I also look forward to what you will all accomplish in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Fields, and I can attest to Dr. Fields being a lifelong learner. He has learned so much about MacEwan in his few months with us. It is now my pleasure to introduce members of the stage party. Members of the stage party, please remain standing once your name has been called. Members of the audience, please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. You've already met the Chancellor, Dr. Tony Fields. Oh, I said no clapping. But you know what? I've heard somebody do this once before. If you want to give one clap after each person, that would work, okay? We'll try that. Next to him is our Board of Governors Chair, Carolyn Graham, and our Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Craig Monk. Would members of our Board of Governors rise, please? Would our Deans and Vice Presidents rise, please? I will now ask our Associate Vice Presidents and Associate Deans to stand, please. I would like to acknowledge our Honorary Doctorate recipient, Mary Cameron. I would like to recognize our distinguished alumni, Rob Cernowski. Would other members of the University Administration rise, please? I will now ask the representatives of each of our associations, faculty, staff, alumni, and students to stand. Would our Indigenous Knowledge Keeper, Daphne Alexis, please rise? I now ask the mace bearer, distinguished proctor, and all remaining faculty and staff of the university to stand, please. Well, that was good. This is our 2022 Convocation stage party. Together, they represent all the faculty and staff from across the university who taught you, encouraged you, challenged you, supported you, and worked behind the scenes for you during your time at MacEwan. And they are all honored to be here to celebrate with you today. So please join me in acknowledging all of them. Many claps. Thank you, members of the stage party. You may be seated. And I now invite student board member Miles Dykes to read the MacEwan University Student Invocation. Miles.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Through learning, we flourish and help others to flourish. We stand here today on the brink of important change for ourselves and for the world. Inspired by the past, we now step forward to transform the future. Engaging with others, we cherish the diversity of experiences within our communities and ourselves. Through perseverance, we excel. Through compassion, we connect. Through creativity, we thrive. Through knowledge, we grow. Through all this and more, let us forge a legacy to
recognize individuals who best illustrate the values and achievements that MacEwan graduates can aspire to. They are chosen for their exemplary in their field and for their impact on community. I would now like to invite Carolyn Graham, Chair of the Board of Governors of MacEwan University, to introduce this ceremony's honorary doctorate recipient.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby, and good afternoon, everyone. Conferring honorary doctorates is an opportunity for our community to benefit from the reflection and insight of our remarkable recipients, to learn from their amazing achievements, the high standard that they've set, and the challenges they've overcome. In a moment, I'll invite Mary Cameron to the stage, but first I'd like to introduce a few of her many accomplishments. Ms. Cameron is a business executive and community leader. She has served as Deputy Minister in 2 Canadian provinces, as CEO of Alberta Workers' Compensation Board, and CEO of several private companies. At the age of 29, Mary was appointed Vice President at New West, a major multi-billion-dollar property development firm. Mary is a big believer in Edmonton and the community, and has been a major contributor to the work of Habitat for Humanity at the local, national, and international levels. In each endeavor, she's been a driver of transformational change. While chair of Habitat for Humanity Edmonton, she helped to redefine the potential as the organization moved from building less than 10 homes a year to almost 100. Her work has brought global acclaim to the Habitat movement, and in 2021, she was unanimously appointed as chair of Habitat for Humanity International, the first Canadian to hold this position. She is credited as a great strategic thinker with the ability to bring people together, while also driving needed and significant changes to the organization she serves. Mary has served as mentor and advocate for countless women in business. She's the founder and host of several women's networking groups, and she is one of my trusted mentors, and I can confirm that she encourages you to set the bar high and to strive for excellence. As Mary articulated in an aspirational strategic plan for Habitat Canada, the need is too great and our will is too strong to accept the status quo, and she lives those words every day. As one of Mary's nominators points out, MacEwan's strategic vision notes that the world needs more problem solvers who create something bigger through their leadership, and that is Mary. We greatly appreciate that she's here with us today to share her perspective and inspire our community with her words. I'd now like to welcome my friend Mary Cameron to the stage, and for Chancellor Fields to confer the honorary doctorate.
Thank you, Board Chair Graham. As Chancellor of MacEwan University, by authority of the powers vested in me, I do hereby confer upon you, Mary Cameron, the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa, and the honor and privileges that are proper to it. Congratulations, Dr. Cameron. I now call upon the University Registrar to present you with the hood of the Honorary Doctorate.
Well, good afternoon. It's my honor to be here, and I thank you for that extreme honor. The address I'm going to give this afternoon, I've titled, Costumes I Have Worn. Early in my career, I was hired as a project manager for a large developer and building company. I was hired by a very crusty old-style guy. Within the first few weeks, I realized he wasn't a teaching kind of guy. One day he told me to go out to one of our sites and check on the progress of our crews. That day I'd come to work wearing a silk blouse, a long flowing linen skirt, stiletto heels, and a purse. Hardly dressed for the thick Alberta clan gumbo on the construction site. I got out of my car and started to walk towards the construction machinery. The wind was blowing, so I clutched my skirt so it wouldn't blow in my face. One hand on my purse, one hand on my skirt, and my heels sinking in with every step. I had no idea what I was doing there, and it showed. The site engineer, Bill Breyer, took pity on me and hustled me off site. He could have used that opportunity to make points with his crew and ridicule the crazy young thing who knew nothing, but he didn't. And away from any audience, he told me to come back the following day, where to stand and where to criticize the progress. He advised me to use the toughest and bluest language I knew, and for sure to leave the shoes and purse at home. I did as I was told, and returned the following day in boots and pants and had on a hard hat. It was my newfound costume. I went on to become the youngest vice president in the company and the only woman. My career could have ended before it started had that engineer not been willing to show kindness and compassion rather than make a few points on my expense. I learned, too, the value of fitting in, the costume I needed to wear, the boots, the jeans, and the hard hat. I've been on construction sites around the world doing Habitat for Humanity builds in Nunavut, Durban, South Africa, Nicaragua, Memphis. Hard hats, glasses, steel-toed boots for safety, and on the women build sites, bright pink hard hats to make a statement. We fit in, but we're different, and we still honor the construction costume. I now have the honor of being an honorary lieutenant colonel with the Loyal Edmonton Regiment of the Canadian Army, and the traditions behind the uniforms are deep and rich, resulting in a lot of rules, and never more pronounced than when it comes to dress. The beret just so, the laces tied a certain way, and the concern when the dress code isn't followed. It's easy to ridicule, but the attention to detail and practicing it until it becomes second nature ensures that in the middle of a crisis, actions are second nature. Order and discipline are maintained, and the team works as one. The little details build a culture, a response, a cohesion that is essential for wartime success. At the first military exercise that I was invited to attend, I wore my beret with the insignia in the middle of my forehead, as opposed to on the left, over my heart. It was a clear sign that I was an outsider, not really one of the group. This could be interpreted perhaps as a lack of respect, perhaps a sign of not knowing any better, which would question my competence, or being cavalier about detail. No matter what the reason, I didn't make a good impression. I have since learned to wear it well. Even when my husband and I did a 480-kilometer Camino de Santiago pilgrimage in Spain, we learned that the conch shell was the symbol of the walk. Many pilgrims tied a conch shell to their backpack, so we added that to our Canadian flag on our backpacks, and immediately were identified with the millions of pilgrims who've trudged that path. That was the symbol or costume of the pilgrimage. In each of these uniforms, the group has developed customs and traditions to keep it safe and cohesive. I've learned to value and honor the costumes. Most of these are grounded in good principles, but conforming on the outside to fit in doesn't mean giving up on my values, who I am on the inside. I've come to consciously recognize my values. Probably my greatest teacher was my mother, a single mom who brought us up, 4 girls, on a secretary's salary. But every boss and every friend has taught me as well. I now know that if I don't learn something from someone, it says more about me than it does about them. Even my early crusty old-style boss, who used to yell and hurl personal insults at people, taught me how not to manage and lead people. So what are my 4 values? The first is wisdom. To know that kindness can be more powerful than being right or having power. The learning of how to make connections between and amongst people across industries, when one light bulb in one room can cast a light in a completely different room. When one knows the future is never knowable, but it's always worth imagining. Knowledge can enable one to be right, but wisdom is when you care more about doing right than being right. My second value is courage. I am chair of the International Board of Habitat for Humanity. Bolivia was a country that didn't allow women to own property. So if a woman's husband died, she and her children would be thrown out of her house into the street. Imagine. We started a school for women to develop an awareness of land tenure. We created a hub of women to spread knowledge, and the leaders from those classes led a movement to change the laws. We asked other NGOs to join us, and we threatened all to leave the country unless they changed the laws. It took courage from women and from Habitat, because many thought we shouldn't get political or interfere. Our staff risked their jobs, but we stood fast. The women stepped in, and side by side, we worked and we got property rights for women. There's a lot of courage on the world stage these days. Ukrainian fathers and mothers who go to fight, leaving their children looked after by others to try to protect the freedom of their people and their country. But courage often has small beginnings. The first time you speak in a room when you are unknown, when you risk scorn, standing up for someone or something. Exercising courage makes us stronger and the world better. My third value is curiosity, a thirst for the unknown. I have this saying, what I don't know is amazing. I try to be curious rather than fearful of what I don't know. I try to see what I tend to overlook. One of my heroes is Leonardo da Vinci. Curiosity of the world around him led him to create hundreds of inventions in all spaces: agriculture, transportation, military, mathematics. He wanted to explore and understand everything. What we don't know is amazing. And my last value is humility. One of the best examples of a deeply humble man was Grant MacEwan, the namesake of this remarkable university, and I had the wonderful opportunity to meet him and work with him here. He used to take a Greyhound bus to Edmonton for MacEwan days, and he used to stay at the YMCA. He was always humbled by having this institution named after himself. He told me he never felt himself to be a great presence, but he felt he was in the presence of greatness when he stood in front of a room of students. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. The spirit of MacEwan still walks these halls and lifts you. The MacEwan spirit here values the individual in equal measure to the learning. One of his favorite quotes, and we heard it today, and one by which he lived his life was, "To leave the vineyard better than I found it," thinking about others, present and future. So my key lessons in life are that I try to understand people and circumstances. When it's an issue of safety or culture or tradition or comfort, I have no qualms in wearing the costume to fit in and potentially open the door of connection. But no matter what I put on the outside, I always try to hold fast to my eternal values who make me what I am. Wisdom, curiosity, courage, and humility, I strive for these in myself, and I cherish and respect them when I see them in others. My wish for each of you is that you determine your values and use them to guide your journey. I wish you a life filled with the opportunity to wear many, many different costumes. But no matter what you wear on the outside, be true to yourself and your values, true to who you are and who you aspire to be. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Mary Cameron. You wear your costumes well, and clearly you know and live your values. I now invite Chancellor Fields to join me for the presentation of graduates and conferring of credentials. So graduates, if you're able, please rise. On behalf of the faculties and schools of MacEwan University, I present these graduates and those named in the Convocation program who are not at the ceremony. I ask that they be admitted to the MacEwan University credentials that they have earned.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the province of Alberta, and upon the recommendation of MacEwan University's General Faculties Council, I admit you to the degree, diploma, or certificate to which you are entitled, and I invest in you all the rights and privileges, powers and responsibilities pertaining to that credential. Now, I bestow upon you this credential as a solemn trust to transform, to engage, and to improve the world. From this day forth, to teach and to learn from others, so that through your learning, we may all flourish. Congratulations.
Please be seated, and we're going to hear a little music before we marshal you on stage. The Logan Alexis Singers will return to the stage to perform with Bronson LaChance. Bronson is a youth men's traditional dancer. He hails from the Mikisew Cree Nation and tells stories through his traditional dancing and singing. Protocol was offered before the ceremony. Thank you, Bronson and the Logan Alexis Singers. In a moment, our marshals will bring our graduates to the stage. Off stage to your right is Scott Kashuba, Board of Governors Alumni Representative and former Distinguished Alumni Recipient. Scott will present each graduate with a gift on behalf of the MacEwan University Alumni Association. The graduate procession is ordered by faculty and school. Student awards will be presented in advance of graduates. This will be the moment for graduates to shine and be recognized for what you have accomplished. As you make your way across the stage, and please enjoy doing that, you'll see a mark. What I'd like you to do is pause for a photo, take a moment, and wave to your friends and family. They're all here for you. We are thrilled to be welcoming our graduates to the stage. After 2 years of virtual ceremonies, we celebrated our first in-person convocation in the fall. This is our first big spring convocation, and we're so excited to be here again with you. And although we won't be shaking hands today, I know all of us will be proudly watching and cheering. Please cheer as our graduates cross the stage. While we're getting organized, the Logan Alexis Singers will perform an honor song as the graduates are being assembled. At this time, I invite Dr. Craig Kuziemski, Interim Dean for the School of Business, to come to the podium.
Thank you, President Trimby. In each faculty and school at MacEwan University, we recognize the students whose academic efforts place them at the top of their class. The Dean's Medals are the highest academic honor that may be granted by a faculty, and these medals recognize the exemplary success of individual students in an area of study. One degree may be granted in a certificate or diploma program and one award in a degree program. The Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence in a diploma program in the School of Business is awarded to Alicia Masani, a graduate of the Library and Information Technology program. I would like to invite our award winner to join me here on stage. Oh. So while our award winner is joining me on stage, I'll give you a little bit of a background. Alicia is the perfect representation of what I think lifelong learning looks like, as she already has degrees in English and education. She saw library sciences as a way to integrate both of those disciplines. Alicia also realized that the best education goes beyond what we teach you in the classroom, what you learn from your textbooks and from your instructors, as she was the MacEwan student representative from October 2021 until April 2022 for the Greater Edmonton Library Association. And when I was looking through some of the text on how she described her program and her time at MacEwan, the word that really stood out for me was passion. She talked about how her pursuit of studies led to a passion for learning. She described a passion for what she was learning, and it was a great reminder for me of what post-secondary institutions do. We really help students find their passion and a path to take that passion to new heights. So thank you, Alicia, for reminding me of that. My apologies, I thought I was done. Eminent Chancellor and Madam President, I now present to you the following graduates from the School of Business.
And now presenting graduates receiving their Accounting Technology Certificate. Richard Maurice Lowe. And lastly, Tara Janine Whiskey Jack. And now presenting graduates receiving their Accounting and Strategic Measurement Diploma. Sonal Preet. Christine Aklopen. Heather Bach, with distinction. Russell Trinidad Buaga. Jennifer Ruth Cavers. Avneet Kaur Chima. Himit Singh Dhaliwal. Antonio Luis Esperdo. Paola Landono. Justine Suelo Pakibot. Kem Pantia. Amila Neomal Samrakodi.
Tui Loan Tran. Jacqueline Aguirre Vergara. Tui Tan Hangbo. Lastly, Fatima Sora Sarut. And now presenting graduates receiving the diploma from Asia Pacific Management. Honorary Anderson. Lastly, Janeta Prihotko.
And now presenting graduates receiving their business management certificate. Lastly, Peyton Jax Litke. And now presenting graduates receiving their business management diploma. Mariam Najim Al-Tamimi. Kyle Carr K. Al. Shakti Baga. Christina Marie Wenviehi. Jennifer Abby Bugera with distinction. Catherine Berdeniak with distinction. Griffin Reed Carey. Magnolia Jane Donnelly. Shara Grace Kamenecki. Jenna Marie Joan Lazaro. Francis Zaira De Leon Mella. Amiel Tadeo Mercado. Neha Madhu. Trung Nyok Nguyen.
Aaron Ponce Montoya. Stephanie Kate Frances Quasai Reyes. Prince Sethi. Ankush Kumar Sogi. Rona Lealin Padamada Sumalileng. Vince Patrick Valenzuela. Akila Shade Wicks.
And lastly, Louisa Zoldan Malafati. And now presenting graduates receiving their Human Resources Management Diploma. Uda Bakal. Hannah Sigrun Cornish. Jennifer Lindsay Dane. Cassidy Ray Dyko. Diana Hong. Haley Kelly. Isra Mohammed Azadul Islam. Cameron Taylor Mosgrip. Moran Fuluwasho Oluwatobi Oyatomi. Maria Gabriela Perez. Josiah Carmen Ramos. Michaela Rozak. Oyenda Mola Oluwafun Mileo Sule. Ramla Warsame.
Lastly, Cassidy Jane Sefino. And now, presenting graduates receiving the Diploma for Library and Information Technology. Penelope Rachel Dolphin, with distinction. Mandy Karen Gelker, with distinction. Kai Retta Hagen, with distinction. Riley Rain Marie Horvath, with distinction. Yonula Louise Hunt, with distinction. Bethany Idema, with distinction. Lindsay Nicole Newton, with distinction.
Morgan Justine Phillips, with distinction. Jackson Richard Ryan. Julia Carmen Schultz, with distinction. And lastly, Kirsten Nichelle Wazelenchuk. And now presenting graduates receiving their Paralegal Studies Diploma. Phoebe Ang Chen. Ava Diana Erlenlechner with distinction. Tiana Marie Hunter with distinction. Kirsten Joyce with distinction. Tamara Jane Middleton. Emma Elizabeth Reed. Alina Marie Senenning with distinction. Trinity Delilah Philomena Alch. And lastly, Robina Nori.
At this time, I invite Dr. Heather McRae, Dean for the School of Continuing Education, to the podium. Thank you.
The Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence in a Diploma Program in the School of Continuing Education is awarded to Himani Sharma, a graduate of the Gerontology and Hospice Palliative Care Program. I would like to invite our award winner onto the stage. Himani Sharma started her studies at MacEwan University in the fall term of 2020, during a time of great uncertainty. Students in Himani's cohort were unable to travel to Canada. The courses were taught online, and students quickly adapted to time changes, internet challenges, difficulty accessing their textbooks, trying to build an online community, and wondering when they might come to Canada. This was at a time when many of us thought the COVID might be just a few weeks or perhaps a few months at the most. Finally, in 2022, Himani and others in the class arrived in Canada and met each other, their instructors, and their academic administrators in person for the first time. You might wonder why so many of these students have a award with distinction, but this is an amazing cohort who worked amazingly hard. So Himani, today we want to celebrate you and acknowledge your academic and personal achievements. Your instructors think highly of you and your continual desire to learn and to improve. You did not seem fazed by any of the challenges around you, an attribute for those who work in healthcare, particularly in gerontology. You were highly engaged in your classes, asking thoughtful questions and encouraging others to participate. You completed your program with a spectacular 4.0 grade point average. And more importantly, you were thought as someone who is friendly, kind, and helpful. I think Himani is someone to watch out for as she continues her life in Canada, and she certifies for a registered nurse, as well as her work in other aspects of healthcare. Congratulations, Himani. I almost forgot the part, just following my colleague. Eminent Chancellor and Madam President, I now present to you the following graduates from the School of Continuing Education.
Graduating with Gerontology and Hospice Palliative Care certificates, Amjad Kaur with distinction. Amrit Kaur. Arshdeep Kaur with distinction. Baljit Kaur with distinction. Damanpreet Kaur. Harmanpreet Kaur with distinction.
Kamalpreet Kaur with distinction. Kavalpreet Kaur with distinction. Kritipreet Kaur. Savita Yadav. Mandeep Kaur with distinction. Navjot Kaur with distinction. Pavanpreet Kaur with distinction. Punamjeet Kaur.
Meninda Kaur Chima with distinction. Kamalpreet Kaur. Palwinder Kaur Radhawa with distinction. Kamalvir Kaur Ranji with distinction. Off you go. Jashandeep Kaur Sidhu. And lastly, Randeep Kaur Sidhu with distinction.
Congratulations to all our award winners and the graduating class of 2022. And thanks to the proud parents, friends, and family of our graduates for cheering them on with such love and such warmth. And now I'd like to introduce a special music piece composed by members of the MacEwan community in celebration of our 50th anniversary. Composed by Bachelor of Music student Aaron Adaricio with poetry and lyrics written by Bachelor of Arts student Madison Matthews. Here is Heart of the City, performed by the MacEwan Big Band.
City.
Heart of the City. Congratulations, the MacEwan Big Band, Aaron Adoricio, and Madison Matthews. What a wonderful piece to celebrate our 50th anniversary here in the heart of the city, downtown. MacEwan is Edmonton's downtown university. Thanks, everybody. This year, the student address will be provided by the recipient of the MacEwan University President's Medal for Academic Excellence and Student Leadership. The President's Medal recognizes graduating students who have made an outstanding contribution to campus activities while maintaining a superior academic record. The recipient of the President's Medal is Elaine Tron, a graduate of the Sociology program in the Bachelor of Arts. Elaine achieved a GPA of 3.463 over the course of her program. Her academic work includes a published paper, an academic book review, and a second-place finalist in an international essay competition. Elaine is an advocate for students through her work with the Students Association of MacEwan. She promoted a more diverse campus through her work with Champions of Equity and Diversity and by helping to create the Human Rights, Diversity, and Equity Student Club. She has taken on critical contemporary topics. Her honors thesis analyzed the discourse around anti-Asian racism amid the COVID-19 pandemic in Canadian local and national media. Elaine's passion for community is demonstrated in her work with the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights, Girl Up Alberta, and the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. Among our many successful, creative, and innovative graduates, Elaine's work and attitude stood out. Indeed, one of her nominators wrote, "I rarely see students with such deep intellectual curiosity, perseverance, and grit." Elaine has provided a recorded student address.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby, for the introduction. Welcome administrators, faculty, distinguished guests, family, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2022. When I was asked to share a message with all of you today, I recalled an adage from my dad: cut the crap and get to the point. So with that, I will aim to keep my remarks brief. After reflecting and ruminating on the past 5 years I've spent at MacEwan, I realized what made my experience a uniquely fruitful, joyous, and rewarding one: my sense of courage, curiosity, and resilience. I arrived at MacEwan in the fall of 2017. I had just graduated high school a few months earlier, and I entered the clock tower doors with eagerness and excitement at the abilities I would develop, the experiences I would acquire, and the knowledge I would gain. Though, like many of you, I'm sure, as much as I was excited and grateful, I was equally afraid and fearful. Today, as we celebrate our accomplishments and achievements, I hope that we can look back and reflect on the seasons that have passed us in our educational journey and be reminded of our unapologetic and unwavering courage, curiosity, and resilience. Our sense of courage and curiosity has led us to achieve and experience many firsts. Like me, some of you may be the first to graduate university in your family, the first to introduce yourself to someone new, the first to offer your perspective in class, the first to ask a question that has never been asked, the first to re-enter post-secondary after many years away from formal education, or the first to fulfill and live your dreams. Our sense of resilience has led us through -30-degree days running to catch the 7:30 a.m. train, to cramming last minute for a midterm, to crying at least once on campus, to drinks at Towers amid finals season, to napping at any open spot you could find, to encouraging conversations with instructors and faculty members, to laughs shared on the way to class, to standing in the 27 feet long Tim Hortons line in Building 6, and to surviving in a global pandemic. Our sense of resilience is not short in supply. I hope you know that all of these experiences, some daunting and unspoken of, led you to today, one of the most exciting and rewarding days of your life. Finally, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the people that contributed to the 5 years I've spent here. Thank you to my dad, my brother Kevin, the trio of women who raised me, Bucknam, Paula, Buckeye, Austin, my partner, my friends, and of course, my instructors. Thank you for empowering, supporting, and uplifting me when I needed it the most. I am here because of you. Now, as I look out into the crowd, I feel immense joy and pride because I am confident that all of us, to draw on what Dr. J.W. Grant MacEwan has said, will leave MacEwan a better place than when we found it, and will continue to make great strides of positive change in each and every one of our future endeavors. We will continue to have courage, be curious, and exemplify resilience. Congratulations, class of 2022. We have so much to be proud of.
Thank you, Elaine. Courageous, curious, humble, and wise. That sounds a little familiar, Dr. Mary Cameron, doesn't it? So anyways, that was a very inspiring speech. I now request Scott Kashuba, Board of Governors Alumni Representative, to the podium to introduce the Distinguished Alumni recipient, what you've been waiting for.
Thank you, Dr. Trimby. Good afternoon. Alumni are our university's greatest legacy, and each year MacEwan recognizes the outstanding contributions and achievements of its graduates through the Distinguished Alumni Award. Presented at a ceremony held earlier this spring, we are pleased to have Rob Siranowski join us today to deliver the alumni message to you, the newest members of the alumni community. Rob is an award-winning Canadian music industry veteran with over 25 years of experience in buying talent, buying, booking, and promoting. He serves on the Country Music Association Board of Directors and is the President and CEO of Live Star Entertainment Canada. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he established Hotels Live, an entertainment venture that uses hotel balconies to allow audience to safely view concerts taking place from stages on pool decks and in hotel atriums. Hotel Live has produced over 80 live in-person concerts for over 15,000 patrons. Welcome, Rob.
Happy National Indigenous Peoples Day. Board Chair, Chancellor, President, Provost, Stage Party, graduates and guests, I am truly honored to stand here today to address you all and be the first to welcome the graduating class of 2022 to the MacEwan University alumni community. Since graduating from the Management Studies program at Grant MacEwan University nearly 30 years ago, I've come to realize what an incredible journey it's been, booking thousands of concerts across Canada with some of the biggest icons in music in the world. Although I didn't know it at the time, my career in the entertainment industry virtually began at the same time as my Management Studies program. At that time, I began DJing 3 to 4 nights a week at a club here in Edmonton called Club Malibu University. I must admit, though, it wasn't easy. The lure of the nightlife and the party was always tempting. I had to keep my goals in focus in order to avoid that temptation and excel my work and at my studies. The ironic part is, I didn't fully know how to DJ when I applied at Club Malibu, and my marks were barely enough to get into management studies here at MacEwan University. I was certainly punching above my weight at the time, and I'd had to apply myself like never before to rise up to my own challenge. I figured out that if I worked hard and focused, I could do anything. I knew that if I wanted to succeed, I had to take any opportunity possible to develop myself and my skills. So I came into the club any chance I had in the day, taught myself the craft of beat mixing and how to program the music each night. I studied the dance music charts to see the newest trends in songs, what they were in Europe, and then ordered those songs in before they got released here in Canada domestically. So I could break those songs first. I could break those songs and before anybody else really could. I worked hard to build a reputation for my club as a place where you could hear the hottest new music, and I found what I call my competitive edge. Over those 2 years as DJ Fresh, Club Malibu became one of the top clubs in Edmonton, but I couldn't let my drive and my persistence end there. We opened 5 other more successful nightclubs using our programming template. We expanded to other cities, becoming one of the greatest nightclub empires in Canadian history, including the world-famous Cowboys, who I still book shows for to this day, and actually even to this morning. As things grew with this organization, I pushed myself to keep growing. I assumed a new role of talent buyer, promoter, and began teaching myself how to book and promote concerts. I just jumped in with the same principles as before. Later, I stepped out on my own to form Live Star Entertainment, which became a national talent buying agency for many venue properties across Canada, and eventually I became a booking agent for some of Canada's top artists. I've got to meet and work with some of my heroes along the way, such as Metallica, Prince, The Tragically Hip, Rush, Def Leppard, Kiss, Alan Jackson, Snoop Dogg, Rihanna, Tiesto, just to name a few. In March 2020, though, everything came to a halt when COVID-19 swept across the world. The live music business was shut down. Nobody could perform, and all venues were closed. The experts were predicting that it would be 2021 or 2022 until we could gather again for live music. Now what? Was this just another challenge? There had to be a way. That's where Hotels Live was born. We found a way to repurpose hotel pool decks and atriums into concert stages, where people could safely watch concerts from their balconies. We found 2 properties in Calgary, 1 outdoors and eventually 1 indoors, and we worked around all the gathering restrictions to do so. When gathering restrictions were 25 to 50 people outside, for the first year, we were gathering 400 people every Saturday night on a rooftop in downtown Calgary. In essence, doing Canada's biggest concerts every week. During this pandemic, our model kept live music playing, creating hundreds of jobs in the arts and the hotel sectors in Calgary. We produced over 80 live in-person concerts and sold over 4,700 hotel rooms to over 15,000 patrons who got to experience mental wellness benefits of gathering together, singing, drinking, and dancing from their VIP box suite balconies during this pandemic. The best part is that after 21 months of Hotels Live, there have been 0 reported cases of COVID-19 transmission at any of our events. We proved that it could be done and done safely. Just recently, Hotels Live was awarded the 2022 Canadian Live Music Industry Award for Outstanding Emerging Organization. In the coming weeks, Live Star Entertainment will rebrand itself as Alberta's only national entertainment booking agency, with a roster of artists and showcasing the best talent that Alberta has to offer on a world stage. So we are far from done. It still feels like we are just getting started, in fact. And in fact, this morning, my newest artist client, Kyle McKerney, was named the recipient of the Henry Armstrong Award. It is the first national Indigenous music award of its kind in Canada, and he was awarded that this morning. My message to you all, as you embark on this next chapter, is never give up, always find a way. Resilience and innovation are your tools for success. Have no self-limitations on what you can do. Especially in today's tech world, the possibilities are endless. Find your competitive edge. If all else fails, remember that nothing beats focus and hard work. Create passion in what you believe in. It's infectious and can help change the world. Stay true to yourself and always have the right intentions in place. Stay connected with each other, leverage your networks together, strengthen numbers, MacEwan University, alumni, and finally, know that anything is possible. So dream big, but remember to have some fun while you do it, as 30 years can happen in a blink of an eye. The alumni community which you now belong to wants to hear about your journey, so make sure to stay connected with them as you make your impact in this world in your own special way. Thank you for this honor, and all the best to the graduating class of 2022.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful, distinguished alumnus. This brings us to the closing moments of our ceremony, and I would like to thank all of you who have joined us in person or online today. It gives me great pleasure to thank the many people in our MacEwan community who have worked hard to make this convocation happen. Faculty, I want to thank you for all your work. You ensured that your students were engaged in meaningful academic experiences that have built their success here today. Graduates, I'd like to once again congratulate you all on your success. While this signifies the end of your academic career here at MacEwan, it is not the end of your lifelong journey of learning. I know that there are many people that helped you on your journey thus far. I'd like to invite you, our graduates, to express your appreciation to those who have supported you along the way. Would the faculty, family, and friends of our graduates please rise? Graduates, a round of applause, please. Faculty, family, and friends, you may now be seated. And now, in turn, I ask the graduates to rise, and I invite our audience, faculty, and staff to join me in congratulating our graduates of 2022. And on that rousing note, I declare this convocation closed. Thank you.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? 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 Then will you get bored of killing me?
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry.